What time is it? Game time! Boo!
What up, everybody? Thank you, as always, for tuning into the Super GameRoom Dudes, your Friday Funhouse. Let's get this show started right now. All right, guys, I'm pretty excited because this is our season 1.6 finale. Because next week, it's going to be it's going to be a Friday night of premieres. There hasn't been this much excitement until, you guys remember when X-Files was on Friday nights? And it was
what was that?
The season premiere of X-Files was like a huge deal on Friday nights. Well, guys, next week is going to be a Friday night of premieres. You're going to get the premiere first episode of the new Arcade and Gaming podcast show, Game Time, starring the Tech Buzz, Bill's Retro Gaming Show, Glenn's Retro Show, and She Lion Gaming, as well as you're going to finally get the Season 2 premiere of the Super GameRoom Dudes, a whole new show format, new graphics, new artwork, new stuff. We don't want to spoil it too much, but either way, make sure you guys come back here next week. Guaranteed. You've been waiting. It's going to happen because
you can't say guaranteed.
It's happening. It's going to happen, bro. It is a night.
What if you get sick and you can't be on the show?
I'm going to be here.
Carry on without you?
Come hell or high water, I'm going to be here. If I'm the only one here, we're still doing it. We're still doing it no matter what. It's going to happen. All right.
You can't do it if Mike's not here, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll be here. We'll get it done. Mike's the man. All right, guys. Mike's here. Restalgia's here. Detroit Love is not here, unfortunately, but he should be here next week for our season premiere. So, Mike, Steven, how are you guys? Let's shoot the crap real quick before we get this stuff started.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm okay. I survived today. I didn't think I was going to, but I did.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't heard, there was a big shakeup at At Games today. Somebody was let go and Restalgia had to work double time.
Yes, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Knew it.
Do you guys remember? Well, not remember. Of course, you guys remember. The viewers don't remember. So earlier today, Restalgia messaged us. He's like, guys, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the show. I got to work late. And MichaelB messaged, like, who got fired from At Games? I was rolling. I was rolling in my sleep. Oh, you know me. I got to take my naps. So I'm still a little groggy. Kongs R Us, there's a big fighting game tourney in the world. Is that Evo next week in Vegas? Is Evo next week in Vegas?
I thought B was getting emo next week in Vegas. What happened?
Oh,
that's 100%. That is going to happen.
We must have heard that incorrectly. All right, so we got a lot of stuff we want to talk about. We want to talk about Unico. Unico's back in the news just a little bit.
Is well. It Unico or Unico?
I don't give a shit. I'm going to say Unico. Unico. Okay. Unico is back in the news. I hate it when people try to like Oh, you mispronounce words. You know, we're fighting already. Are we even going to make it to the season 2 premiere?
Bro, I literally just asked the question.
God,
I thought the I was silent. I thought it was just Unco.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Unco too.
Yeah, you know.
Is it Unco or Unico?
I don't know,
Mike.
Can we just call them the MVSX people? Can we just call them that? Is it safe?
Unico, fun gaming.
Unico.
Unico.
There was a wrestler
Unico.
by the name of Hunico. You remember that?
Unico. Is it Unico or
Remember Hunico
I
from
think
WWE?
it's based off of the English language. I think the I makes the U say its own name.
And it's unicorn. Okay, Paul. You know, Paul, God, I love this guy. He always writes the funniest stuff on my videos. All right, Paul, fine. It's unicorn. It's unicorn. Unico. Who gives a crap? All right, Unico's back in the news. We're going to talk real quick about them. iArcade, we got an update for them. We got Arcade1Up. We're going to talk a little bit about Arcade1Up. There's not a whole lot going on there. Have we been overlooking the Evercade? Is the Evercade this sleeping possible contender for the retro gaming? We're going to talk a little bit more about the Evercade tonight, as well as Mike. There's some Nintendo Mario Kart 8. Some new games got new levels, I think, got released. There's a few more things. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's have some fun. We're going to kick off the show talking about, how do you say it, Restalgia?
Unico.
Actually, we got some clarity from John D in the chat. It's Unico, and it stands for you and I Company. UNI Company.
You know, in the words of Dane Cook, they're just words. They don't
They're
control
just
us. They don't
Nobody
control
knows.
us.
Nobody knows.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Stupid
So-
name anyway.
Honestly, some companies, as I found out, when you become influencers from them, this is secondhand knowledge. They actually give you instructional videos on how to say their name. Isn't that right, Restalgia?
That is 100% true.
Are you serious?
For example, hold on. There's a very big video game company, AAA video game title company, that Mike and I disagree on how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
And who is that?
I believe what's their big Prince of Persia, Mike? Is that one of their big titles?
Is it Ubisoft? Ubisoft?
Who calls it
Ubi-
Ubisoft?
Ubisoft? Ubisoft?
What is wrong with you? Ubisoft.
I'm saying it both ways. I've heard it. Ubisoft. Ubisoft.
No. According to your wife, Restalgia, Ubisoft.
Okay, that's fine. It's called Ubisoft, unless you are French and you can't say the U part of it. I get it. Yeah, if you're French and you say Ubisoft, but it's Ubisoft.
Is that the one you guys argue about, or did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
that's-
No, that's the one. That's the one. Mike's wrong, and I'm
All
right.
right.
And that's
But you know what?
Ubisoft, so
You know what?
Ubisoft.
That is actually a fantastic thing. Like, if you're going to be representing a company, it's good that you have some kind of clarification like that. Like, I got sent out the iArcade originally, the demo unit, the first iArcade that came out. The whole way through the review, if you watch it, I keep calling it the iArcade.
everyone did it at the very beginning. I think everybody did at the beginning until I think was it Jong that was just talking about it, and he called it iArcade, and I was like, okay, that's what it's called then.
I guess one of the eyes is silent. MichaelB, we got a $2 donation from Tony, and he wants an explanation. Why the hell did you have a 12-hour live stream of just your chair last night? Thanks for the donation, Tony. Mike?
This is not the first time it's happened. I mistakenly left my OBS open after I finished my Evercade gameplay stream last night, and one of the cats said, "Whew, we need to be on air. We've got talent. We want to show people." So they accidentally hit the stream button, and it started streaming out to people while I was sound asleep in my bed. And I'm surprised you didn't hear me sighing through the entire Alberta countryside because I snore pretty loudly. So surprisingly, that never came through on camera.
Did you get more views than you normally do?
I get about the same amount of views that you would get on a live stream if you were really trying.
Nostalgia.
I don't even want to know what that number is. There's a reason I don't do live
Are
streaming.
you at what are you at? 34,000?
35.
Just turned over 35,000 subscribers.
Everyone, big shout out to Restalgia for hitting 35,000 subscribers on YouTube. Congratulations, my friend. What's funny is 35,000 subscribers, but if Restalgia goes live on his channel, maybe 10 people show up. Maybe.
I don't do live streams. People come in for the produced videos.
And one of them is me.
And me. And
Dr.
your uncle shows up and says, "Hey, Restalgia, we missed you at the family reunion last week."
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's right. In fact, most of it is my wife or my kid is on her tablet, and that's who makes up all of my live stream views. So
Ashley Bradley here. They were in your live chat, Mike, when you were MIA, and everyone was just carrying on the conversation as if you were there. It was
Well, I
funny.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you for
Yeah.
picking up the slack where my cat said, kind of put me out to dry there on that one. I appreciate it.
Yeah, look at this, 35,000 and 2 vids a year. Nice.
That's the
Bill
thing.
Bill
I
wrote the
don't
same
get,
thing.
man. That's the thing I don't get. Like this cat, he's nowhere to be found. He doesn't make anything. He's still growing like a weed.
Man, what can I tell you? It's quality over quantity, baby.
All right, we got some more folks showing up. We got Restalgia. Restalgia. Ritual
I'm right here, buddy.
Bill's
Good job,
here.
PDubs.
Everyone say hi to Bill. Console fanboys here. 19K Fox is here. Where is 19K Fox? There he is, right there. Always modding something, that guy. All right, let's get this show started proper here so we can get people on their way. It's a Friday night, and I'm sure people want to play their video games. So taking a peek here, Mike. What finally is back in stock, and what did you order, and how much did it cost? You
So
nearly,
much money.
I nearly pooped my jorts when you told me how much you paid for this thing today. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, so She Lion Gaming put out a video there a couple days ago. She just got the MVSX riser for her MVSX. And anyways, I went and checked it out. And sure enough, it is currently in stock. And they did something that I love. It's another thing iArcade did to help out us people here in Canada who can't normally access their stuff. I've never been able to order directly from Neo Geo, just they don't ship to Canada. We always had to go through a third-party distributor called Canada Computers here. They never carried the riser, so I thought this is something I wouldn't be able to get. But I went in the other day, used her link, noticed they had special Canadian shipping of $40 US. And whenever a company does that, like if you can, we know shipping's gross to us. We understand it's disgusting. But if you are willing to, do something special for us, like offer some kind of reduced shipping because you understand that some of us live on islands off the coast of Canada, I'll appreciate that and maybe jump in and pay for something. So I did. I ordered the MVSX riser. I like my MVSX. It's just a little bit too short. When I'm sitting on a stool, I don't find it comfortable. So I bought the super expensive riser, and with the $40 shipping, the $100 riser, all told, came to $180 Canadian.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Disgusting, right? But here's the funny thing: it's not the first time I've paid $180 Canadian for a riser before. Back when,
don't doubt that, Mike.
Back when I just had 2 Arcade1Up cabinets. I had my Street Fighter and I had my original Turtles. I forgot to buy a riser when they were available, and they disappeared. You couldn't buy them in Canada, so I had a friend pick one up for $35 in the US in Washington and mail it to me. All told, the $35 riser ended up costing me $180 because it was $130 shipped from his location to me.
Mike, that is not the story I thought you were going to talk about.
No, I know,
for the
I know.
Really expensive riser that you paid for.
Oh, you thought I was going to talk about that surgery I had done?
I thought you were going to talk about the bachelor party that you went to.
Go to any bachelor parties.
I cannot believe you spent that much money on a riser. I would have found some other way to prop that thing up. I would not spend 180. But then again, I'm also hoarding in my garage right now. I have like 4 of the original Arcade1Up stools. Remember the black ones that they sold separately in the boxes?
Yeah.
I still have 4 of those unopened that I've been hoarding, like for mods and stuff. So I guess I'm pretty bad about that, because I see some people are like, man, I can't find a riser, and I'm like, I got 4 in my garage, sucker.
Yeah, there's a comment there from Charlie Chuck. Can you bring that up?
Oh, we love Charlie Chuck. He's here. Imagine a guy capable of building the dresser. This is so true. You could have come up with something, and you spent all that money.
Yeah, I want to keep it. I want it to be comfortable. I did the same thing with the what do you call it? The tempered glass screen protector for the iArcade. Like, I thought it was egregiously expensive, but they offered special shipping. I bought it. It improved my experience with the iArcade. So I'm hoping the Unico riser does that. I know it's stupid. I know it's overpriced, but I can't help myself. I want the heart wants what the heart wants.
Nooner's got a good comment here about Escape Pod Online. We love Escape Pod Online. They're one of the many graphic companies out there. They do great work. Escape Pod has Tapper graphics for the Defender Partycade now. Nice. So if you wanted to turn that, the Catalina wine mixer into that, go ahead.
There's a comment there from GG, if you can bring it up. And this is the other thing. Like, I love New Wave toys, but I got to talk to somebody in that company. There's got to be some way to figure out that shipping, because the shipping is crazy to Canada. It's got to be a better way to get it. Eventually, they go on Amazon, right? Restalgia, and the shipping's usually a little bit better that way. But
usually free.
It's sometimes free. Sometimes
if it's being housed in Amazon's warehouse, then free.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. I put a poll in the live chat. I said, how many of you own an MVSX, the Unico MVSX, which is that cute little red cabinet behind me? Out of 71 votes, only 18% of our viewers out of 71 own it. 81% said no. I thought this was a good cabinet. You know what I mean? Mike, what are your thoughts? You've had one that you were supposed to review that you never reviewed. Hate the bust your balls live on air, but
I was never supposed to review it. I don't know what you're talking about. We'll talk about it after, but there was no agreement for me to review it.
Are you going to review it? Well,
yeah.
I guess do you need to? I mean, it's been out for 2 years.
And I don't care about that. I know people are always saying, oh, there's a time limit on reviews. Screw it. I reviewed my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cab a year after I had any business reviewing it. Still got over 10,000 views. So whatever. I'll just do whatever I want.
Dr. Freeman says too many fighting games, but Restalgia, what can they do?
On what? On the MVSX?
On the Unico MVSX. What can they do?
I don't know. I shouldn't talk about it. Mike will get mad.
What?
We don't want now.
We don't want Mike to get angry.
If you whisper, Mike won't hear about modding and he won't cry. So what can you do? You can hide.
Totally soft. Yeah, you can soft mod that bitch.
And you can add high-low.
My ears are burning.
Poor Mike sheds a tear. Too funny. Yeah, we love the high-low hack on the MVSX. Both Restalgia and I have wonderful tutorial videos walking you through the process. It's probably one of the easiest drag and drop soft hacks that you'll ever do. It's literally just moving files from a PC to a flash drive and plugging it in and clicking a couple of buttons, and boom, you have a bunch more games on your system. And speaking of hacks, so something new is brewing. Some of you, I don't think many people have become aware of this, but this MVSX, they sell this fun R1 arcade stick. This thing's been out for a while. It's on sale right now for $200. They got it $50 off on their website. What's funny about this, Restalgia, is they have now soft modded this thing as well. You know how they were doing the high-low hack on the Capcom stick?
I do know, yeah.
Well, check this out. They're not doing that on this one. Guess what hack got released on this one?
Tell me about it, PDubs.
You can load the Batacera front end and thousands of games on this bad boy.
You can?
And, I was thinking about making a video for that, but then I remembered I don't own this stick.
I was in the same boat. I was like, should I make a video? Kind of hard to do when you don't own the product. So.
I was like, and am I going to spend $200 to make the video when, we only make, what, $20 on a video if we're lucky? So.
If it's a good video.
Well, hold on. I was going to say, is this actually like a popular product for people who are looking for like two-player fight sticks? Because I'm sure there are people who want it. But I don't really remember this being like
when this came out
big of a product.
When this came out, I had the At Games Legends Gamer Pro with the CoinOps X, and I had like zero interest in picking this up. Plus, I got a Pandora's Box fight stick. I had no interest in this thing, so I never picked this thing up. But do any of you have it? Let us know in the live chat. Does anyone have it? Mike, are you big art? You don't collect arcade sticks, do you? I don't think I've ever seen.
No. Nope, I don't collect arcade sticks. My first exposure was actually the Legends Gamer Pro. I've never really picked up arcade sticks for the home, other than I had a NES Advantage back in the day. Like that was the closest thing I ever had to an arcade stick.
P-Dubs, you know why that is, right? Why Mike's never really gotten into arcade fight sticks?
Why is that?
Well, because they're so easy to mod, and it would go against his moral code if he were to buy one.
That's a big stick. Yeah, that's true. He hates modding. He hates
does.
modding.
I don't
Mike, why do you hate modding?
Every time 19K Fox releases a video, Mike has to go quietly and cry in a room, and then he joins our group chat and says, "Nice job, Fox. Way to go."
Yeah, he's usually the last person several hours
Later, after he
everyone else
recovers,
is
after he
congratulating him.
emotionally recovers
Yeah.
from the mod.
Yep.
It's okay, Mike. You guys busted my balls 2 weeks ago. It's your turn tonight. We still love you,
Okay.
though, bro. We still
All
love
right.
you. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth, like, if you don't own this product, to go drop $200 on it just because you can mod it. But if any of you have this product, just know that there are some pretty cool soft mods that just came out for this thing. And I love the Banter front end. We've been talking about this slowly over the last few weeks. I'm becoming addicted to it. If I only had the stick, would I make a video? But I'm not going to drop $200 on another stick. I don't need another one. It'd be kind of pointless. So, but if I
Especially
had
a
one,
two-player
I'd be
stick.
doing them. Yeah,
A 2-player
Yeah.
stick is a little like, it's cool to have one, maybe
Mhm.
two, but any more than that, it's just they're so big and you're not using them with anybody. So
soft mod. That's what she said. Oh, I can find the I can't find the. Oh, he's trying to say hilo hack anywhere. Well, who can they message to get their hands on the hilo hack? Restalgia. Is it restalgia@gmail.com?
no, I do not distribute.
We don't
Anything.
do it. It's too risky for us, right? It's too risky for us. But you can find it. The internet is your friend. It's out there.
Yeah, the number of people, you know exactly what I'm talking about, PDubs. The number of people that are saying, "Hey, where do I get the games?" And it's like, you can only lead a horse to water.
So I made a video one time about how to mod the Sega Genesis in
you did.
2021, I think it was, or 2022. I just did it to mess with Restalgia, to show him how shitty his videos are. So anyways, I get nonstop messages about that. They're like, "Hey, dude, you got the ROMs? You got the ROMs?
Where'd you get your ROMs folder?"
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Where's your ROMs folder?
That happens all the time. I still get emails weekly from random viewers asking for ROMs or where to get ROMs, and I'm like, dude, please just type it into Google. You will find it. They're not that hard to find. All right, let's continue on here. So that's what's going on with Unico. Interesting to see them in the news again. We're going to pivot over. We're going to talk real quick about iArcade, just real quick.
How quick?
Real quick. Not as quick as we did last week. So I have to admit, last week, I hope people weren't offended because they come here to hear news about all these companies, but at Games and iArcade, there was really no news. And were you here last week where we breezed right through iArcade and at Games? That was pretty funny.
Rude.
It was supposed to be funny. Mike says Mike, was I rude? Was I rude?
Little rude. Little
Was
rude.
a little bit. Oh, I was just trying to be funny. But
You're the rude dude.
I'm the rude dude. All right, let's talk real quick about iArcade. So iArcade today did release a few more online games every week. A few more games go online. If you want to know what games are now online enabled, they're on your attract mode on your machine. It seems every week, the attract mode games get updated to show you footage from those games. So that's interesting and cool. However, no new game releases. And I saw people in their forums, a lot of owners are getting more and more unhappy about these slow releases. They definitely have had far less releases this year than last year. Mike, what's your impression of the vibe of the iArcade community?
I think people are upset. I think people expected more, especially this year with the new cabinet coming out. They were like, wow, these guys wouldn't release a new cabinet unless they had some big things planned. And no one's really seen that yet. Plus, I mean, Michael did that stream with you and you guys talked about there's some bangers coming.
Yeah.
So you kind of set up a precedent that there might be some cool stuff coming. And
Not me.
Yeah, they're a victim of their own success in their first year too, because I mean, we had streams, like weekly streams, where John would come on, and he'd be like, one more thing, and then he was constantly releasing like 2 and 3 games every week.
Yeah,
And
he
I
was
mean,
going nuts.
maybe that was a pace that wasn't realistic for the long term. So there's an expectation with fans set up for what they expect from iArcade. There's some pretty big expectations. The slogan is anything is possible. So, I mean, people expect anything. Everybody has different thoughts, different desires for what they want from iArcade. And even when they do something that might be cool for some, it doesn't hit everybody, it seems. So it's kind of a tough space right now. People are agitated. People want more from iArcade than what they're getting. And iArcade's been pretty silent, which is also not iArcade. I mean, that's not their company motto. That's not their community. Jung's always been so present. So is Michael. Community so easy to touch. And it seems like nobody can get an answer right now on what's going on with the game lineups.
Yeah, I agree completely. So, people are putting, what are bangers? Is it British slang? My wife actually made this. Yeah, my wife made this for me. Jesus, I think this was like a month ago. I came home. I was like, "Baby, what's for dinner?" She goes, "I made bangers and mash," is what she said. And I was like, "Bangers? What do you mean bangers?" I didn't know what she was talking about, but apparently that's a slang for sausage. I had no idea.
Yeah, you can buy a banger from the same place that Mike buys his risers.
Yeah. So
I think that went over your head, PDubs.
Say that. No, you got to say that. You got to say that again. I was reading something hilarious in the live.
So anyways, can you bring up Papa Brad's comment for a second?
No. This one?
Yeah. Now, Papa Brad is a huge fan of iArcade. I don't blame him. I like it too. And that's the reason why I bought the gold edition. I knew what was on iArcade in terms of the games that were available for it. I knew what I already had, and I knew what I anticipated at the level of quality of the games they were going to release for it. And I was fine with that. But not everybody feels the same way. And now his comment is fine, but someone put up this crazy post in the iArcade community earlier saying, you know what? There's been no new Super Nintendo games for 20 years now. I'm not just going to throw out my Super Nintendo. I was like, that's like the worst analogy ever. The Super Nintendo is a defunct, long retired system. Of course, there's no new games coming out for it. The iArcade is a system in its infancy still. People are waiting for promises and expectations. You can't compare the two. They're not the same thing. So yes, there are games out for iArcade, but you also have to remember where the system is in its life cycle. People are still expecting more from it. The promise of what it could be was never fulfilled, so people keep wanting them to hit that stage. And no matter how many good games, people still want the excellent games that they thought were going to come to the console.
Yeah, I mean, it's an arcade.
Cuphead.
Yeah, I mean,
just give me Cuphead.
I mean, think about it. Like, if throughout the year they release games like, oh god, we hate saying these, but let's just say, Cuphead. Let's say White Knight. Why they don't have White Knight is beyond me. They should be going after that game like crazy, especially for the amount of folks who appreciated games like Dead Cells on the cabinet, right?
Xeno Mother effing Crisis.
Xenocrisis.
Yeah, that one was totally attainable.
But think about it, even if they release like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 of those more popular, bigger titles, the titles will excite a larger volume of people. And then, they threw in some other smaller stuff in between. I think people would be happy, right? Like, I don't think they need to release 300 games a year like they did their first year.
No.
But if they slow down and just put the really good quality games, they'll probably get some of that street cred back that they seem to have lost with just a few of their owners. But one thing that's nice is next week things are going to heat up a little bit. So next week, just to give you guys a sneak peek here on Super GameRoom Dudes, next week Space Invaders will be released on the iArcade. We're going to be talking about Space Invaders as well as Space Invaders Infinity Gene. So if you like retro games, Space Invaders, all-time classic, as well as if you like something a little bit more modern that, pushes the iArcade a little bit further, Space Invaders Infinity Gene. So next week's going to be a pretty fun week for iArcade. They're pretty excited about it. So on Multicade Mondays, on Monday, we got Richie Knuckles, the greatest Space Invaders player of all time. He's going to be on our show. And next week is Detonation Week. So the good news there is should be a little bit more exciting for the iArcade brand next week. I'm happy for them because that's it's a good franchise, number 2 revenue generating arcade game of all time. and it should be fun, right? And Infinity Gene looks interesting as well. I wonder what that's like playing that on an arcade. What do you guys think about that, Mike and Steven, about Space Invaders is next week, finally?
So this is a big one, a very, very, very big one, and people may try to belittle it, but and I know it's on the At Games products already, but in terms of the importance of an arcade game, I mean, Space Invaders has to be in the top 5 for most important arcade games of all time. Let's just be realistic about this. This is an iconic game coming to this console, so congratulations. Now, not everybody's going to love it, but of course, we also got the more modern version, which I think might be more fun for the people looking for something a little bit more expansive. So this is a really good thing for iArcade. I have nothing negative to say. As long as it's not the pinball game from At Games, I think it's great.
Papa Brad gave us a $5 donation. He's coming at MichaelB saying,
I know.
what the heck? They got the same games and you were just gushing about them. Now they suck?
This is true.
I didn't say they sucked.
I know. I'm paraphrasing, Mike, to be
I know.
funny. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Papa Brad, I didn't disagree with you. I saw your comment after my stream last night. A lot of people mentioned it too. All the games that I played last night are on the iArcade. And if you have an iArcade, you should absolutely go check them out. Like that Thunder Hoops 2 game. Restalgia, have you ever played Thunder Hoops 2?
I believe I have, yeah.
It is friggin' Dragon Ball mixed with Contra. It's nuts. It's bananas. So all those games are good. If you're looking for what they call, like Brad saying they're good games, I would call them like underappreciated games. Maybe not AAA. They're a good B to B minus. Absolutely fun games. Go check them out.
I think the big thing, maybe this isn't a big thing, with Space Invaders on the iArcade, the reason why I think it's super good, and you guys know I'm never going to invest in retro games on that machine, but it becomes now a part of the portfolio. So iArcade now has a AAA title, one of the most popular arcade titles that's ever existed on their platform. And as they go on to acquire additional licenses, and the license holders are going to say, well, what else is on this device? Is this going to be a seller? They can at least say, like, this is a really high quality title. Here's another high quality title. Here's Space Invaders. And it just adds a bit more clout behind them to kind of push them forward to start getting some more high quality licenses. So I'm not going to play the game on my iArcade. Not something I would ever invest in, but I think it's a really valuable asset to the portfolio for iArcade.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this 100 times. Some of us want to see some more modern stuff, and then some iArcade owners, they just want the retro stuff, right? Retro iArcade owners are going to be thrilled. Space Invaders and it's going to be at a great price too. I can't say the price until Monday, but it's at a fantastic price. I know some people were like, they're going to charge $30 for it. No, it's a really good, fair price. It's a really good price. But what's funny is the retro
$29.99.
No, yeah, the retro fans are going to be happy, and Space Invaders Infinity Gene. I don't know how the audience is going to take to that. Like, it's kind of like a modern, but it's been out for a while. It should still be fun, right? Like, I don't know who's going to be into that one, but we'll see. I can't wait to check it out myself. But yeah, there you go. So at least some things are brewing at iArcade, and sure enough, while we have Jong on the show, as you guys know, the way I interview people, I will be throwing him some tough questions about this year, the lineup this year, where things are heading, etc. So we'll try and get you guys some valuable information during that show. Console Fanboy gave us a $10 donation. Why can't they say things like, hey, we're working on this or we're working on that? I think it would help if they said we're working on this. For example, Virtual Fighter 2. Is that what he's talking about? I bet people would buy knowing what's coming. I agree.
I completely disagree.
I agree.
I couldn't disagree more than that. Think about that. If they said we're working on XYZ and everyone's like, oh, so cool, they're gonna get XYZ, and they buy this machine for the hope or for the impression that they're going to get XYZ, and for whatever reason they don't get XYZ, then you've got a bunch of really angry people who spent $700, $800, whatever for a machine, on the basis of getting XYZ, and they won't get it.
That I was about to say that. So, for example, imagine this company came out and did this huge release for Mutant Football League, even announced a cab for it, and then Mutant Football League never came to the console. I mean, that'd be tough. So, the reality of both what Restalgia is saying there is ensconced in real life. I mean, they've already run through this where they announced a title coming that they had the licensing agreement for, but never had it finalized hardware-wise for coming to the console, and everybody shits on them for it, and not rightfully so, in my opinion. Stuff happens. Sometimes games don't come through. I don't know if you guys remember, but Nintendo told us we were getting Metroid Prime 4 about 6 years ago. That's never coming out.
That was when the Wii U came out, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes games don't come out. We shouldn't shit on iArcade because Mutant Football League never came out. It would if it could. But they do need to protect themselves from, unless they're in a situation where they're almost like 95% sure it's going to happen, that's the point where they'll tell you about it.
I agree with Jason here. They got extremely skittish after the MFL thing. We think there's a happy medium. Other companies do it just fine, whereas iArcade completely stopped, right? They stopped hyping and promoting what's coming down the road. So, yeah, I've been saying this myself over the last several weeks. That there's got to be a medium there where they can tell us something, right?
But do they have to? Like
it helps.
But what does it help?
It helps.
I'm actually, this is a genuine question because
What does that help?
I don't actually believe that it does help. And I don't think that they necessarily owe that to anybody to preemptively promote something unless it's like literally around the corner.
Would you say that you think fans are entitled, Restalgia? Like, if you work for a home arcade company, would you ever say fans are entitled?
I think people generally are entitled. Yeah. Like,
oh my God. Well, what's funny is, I think our community is very, what's the word? Impatient?
Big time.
I mean, it takes a long time for these home arcade companies to design a cabinet from the ground up and come up with the artwork, get the artwork approved, get the music approved, get the game approved, get all the parts needed to build the damn thing, and then pay people to build it and then ship it over here and then put it up for sale. I mean, it takes a long time for this stuff to happen. And it's like, what's funny is like when all these new like Arcade1Ups come out in a couple of months, right? The very next day, people are going to be like, so what's next? Where's the next cabinet? Why don't I have the next cabinet already? And it's the same thing with iArcade with releasing games. It's the same thing with AtGames. The AtGames community right now is ready to pop. They're like, you guys haven't done anything in over 8 months. No updates. You've given us a couple of sales on products most of us already own, but you've done nothing. You know what I mean?
That's my whole point.
Where are the new pinball game packs?
You guys have no idea what's coming. No idea what's coming. Legends Platinum Owner version 2 and Arcade.net version 2 coming out next week. You heard it here first.
But PDubs, that's my whole point.
You're making stuff up, Mike. You're making stuff up.
Of course he is. Of course
he's nothing on the go.
Yeah.
But PDubs, that's my whole point. Like, do they need to preemptively promote that far in advance? Do they need to say, hey guys, we've got this amazing title, it's going to come when it's ready, and 6 months later it comes out? No, because you get the hype and then it settles down and then people forget about it and they're like, well, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? So my perspective is do some PR. Obviously you want to promote it, but you do it when it's like literally around the corner. I actually think iArcade would do better if they said, we've got this title coming out, you can buy it tomorrow, or you can buy it 7 days from now, and that's the first time we hear about it, and that would drive hype. That would probably
that's
drive
essentially
sales.
what they're doing.
Yeah, and I don't think that we need anything more than that. Just my thoughts.
Because we're entitled.
Right. Exactly. Mostly you, Mike. Mostly.
Well, Console Fanboy disagrees with your Restalgia. He bought a PS5 because he knew what was coming. Same with his Switch and same with his Xbox.
You cannot compare Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo to a small company like iArcade. That's the most ridiculous thing.
I think sometimes people forget that. Thank you very much for the super chat, Zohar.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Zohar.
Like, you got to understand, even the biggest of these companies, Arcade1Up, it's a small shop. Like, I don't have a better way to say that. Like, if like, you know, you watch the charity event and stuff like that, it's a huge company, but it's still a small huge company. I guess that would be the best way to say it. All these companies we deal with are all big but small companies comparatively to some of these other video game manufacturers. So
Well, and
I think people's expectations are just bananas, right?
but hold on, Mike. There's so much more than that. You're talking about, like, look at Nintendo as an example. He's talking about the Switch OLED. Nintendo owns the IP. They own so many IPs. They can say whether or not there's a new Mario game 3 years earlier before it's actually released, and they hold so much control over whether or not that actually happens. And what happened with the Wii U? The Wii U launched. We got a trailer or some sort of teaser for a new Legend of Zelda game. The entire life cycle of the Wii U, people were waiting on the Zelda game, waiting on the Zelda game, waiting on the Zelda game. It never came out, and it ended up being a launch title for the Switch, which is an entire generation later. That you can't do that when you're a really small company, because then you just get chewed up by your small fan base. You can't do that. It's very different.
You know, Bobby here makes a fantastic point, because not only do they learn from their own mistakes, all these companies learn from the mistakes of the others who play in the same space. AtGames has had a lot of egg on their face over the last couple of years. They've had plenty of successes, but they've also had egg on their face over the racing cab, the light guns, etc. And maybe iArcade is doing us a favor. He makes a good point, Mike. He makes a good point.
I don't think you're going to see AtGames do that going forward. They had a lot of dead weight, really shitty employees. Luckily, they let one of them go. I think they've been flying straight ever since.
Bastard.
All right, we gotta move on. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. All right, Mike is hyped. He messaged me at 4:00 in the morning. He's like, because he always forgets what time it is here in the West Coast versus you live in Iceland or Greenland. Which island is it? I can't remember. But what did we find out about the Capcom cabinets, and why should Mortal Kombat lovers be upset?
So yeah, I made a video on this earlier this week. The Street Fighter 2, both versions, the Shinko Hadouken and the Yoga Flame, are both going to get BOE 17-inch 4x3 IPS screens, monitors in their cabinets. So just like old times. And also the Miss Pac-Man Legacy cabinet coming out is also going to get a 4x3 IPS BOE monitor. So the concept, the idea that maybe the reason the Legacy cabinets were a shade cheaper is because we were getting a shittier screen isn't necessarily true.
I don't get it. How is it we had this shortage of monitors, and now all of a sudden we have BOE again?
I don't know. Your
video, Mike, I thought you explained this, didn't you?
I tried my best to do it. So here's the thing.
It was a 13-minute video. I'm sure you got. I'm sure you did.
Wait, Mike made a video, 13-minute video explaining supply chain.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. So I turn on videos and I start talking, and then at some point it's done, and then I try to make the best of it. So anyways,
God. Mike's gonna change his channel into supply chain and logistics moving forward.
I actually love that shit. Critical reorder point. Let's talk. All right.
All right. I'm gonna say right now, Mortal Kombat deserved a good monitor. It deserved a good monitor. The fact that it got pushed out with what they had.
PDubs,
sucked.
A subpar franchise got a subpar monitor.
Oh, dude, you can't say that, bro.
I just said it's a bug console fanboy.
You can't say that. It deserved a good. You know, if they wanted to put like these and this is actually, we mentioned this a few months ago. I'm like, hey, you know what? Pac-Man's going to sell anyway. Stick all these other crap TN monitors in all your Pac-Man cabinets. No one's going to care. People are going to buy them. No one's going to give a shit, right? But when it comes to like your more like Mortal Kombats and stuff, give us the good monitors. This is ridiculous that only the and Mike, it seems kind of planned that every Capcom cabinet has spectate mode, has online lobbies, has a great setup, and Mortal Kombat gets none of that. We got a half-ass online system. We got a crap monitor. We even got the wrong button colors on the damn machine. Mike,
all the white buttons had to go. They were, there's a shortage on white buttons. They had to make sure they had enough for Street Fighter.
There's not enough resin, Mike. There's just not enough resin.
So,
ridiculous.
The point I made in my video, from what I understand, if I'm a company like Arcade1Up and I want to put out cabinets, I cannot be dependent on another company being able to provide me with monitors for a couple reasons. One, they basically completely control when you launch your product. And the number two, on top of that, if you are dependent, they can charge you whatever the hell they want for those monitors if you're dependent on a specific product. So I think Arcade1Up ran into a situation where they wanted to get these cabinets out. There wasn't enough BOEs available and not available at a good price. So they took a chance and got the TN monitors. The reason why Capcom and Miss Pac-Man didn't come out at the same time as the other cabinets was because they only got so many of the 5x4 TN monitors and they were waiting for BOEs to come in. So that's my guess.
Mike has a great video. It is the best 13 minutes of your life right there. Right?
Son of a bitch.
It's like my wedding night. I'm like, babe, get ready for the best 13 minutes of your life.
I tried to explain at my best point why there was a possibility we might get more TN monitors in the future. And it's not cab specific, because there was a concept when these first legacy cabs came out that, we're getting a discount because there's a shittier screen. That's not the case. We got TN monitors because that's what was available at the time. Going forward, we might get more TN monitors just depending on what's available when they're going to make a cab.
That's not entirely true, Mike.
You tell me why.
You're kind of right. And it's not that that's what was available at the time. That's what was available for the price they wanted to pay at the time. Because the way that these things work, especially
wait. Are you doing another one of those MichaelB, you're wrong? Is this a Restalgia telling?
A little bit. Mike told a little white lie.
I knew it.
He told a little white lie. The way it works in the electronics industry is the components right now are what's fluctuating the price of those electronics. So for the BOE monitors, maybe a certain key component of that monitor was like 5x its normal price, which drives its price up. But on top of that, maybe it has a higher demand in general. So lots of people are trying to get it. So not only do you have a shortage, you have a more expensive product, and there's a supply chain limit. So what ends up happening is the price goes up because people are willing to pay more to get it because it's short in supply. And then that puts like a squeeze on it. So the problem is not that BOE wasn't available. It's that it wasn't available in a price point that was financially acceptable for this type of product.
That may be 100% true. But you're also talking out of your ass, making the same assumptions I'm making.
I'm not.
No, you're not. You were there, were you?
No, not with that monitor. But I'm. That's what I do for work right now. I literally buy electronics and components.
See, I don't know if I can. I'm gonna out Restalgia here now. He like there was one point where he told me, he was like, "Listen, I know what goes on at Walmart. I was there in the management thing, and then I found Restalgia's LinkedIn profile, and I was like, what did Restalgia do? Was he part of the management team? Did he? No, he was at the cell phone desk."
That's what I did, baby. When I was still a wee youngin' teenager. That's what I did.
I just lost all my oxygen.
He lost a filling. Look, it's there on the floor.
All right, $5. Console fanboys, PDubs, thank you for understanding the whole BOE supply chain issue. You get it. MK fans get it and are upset. And everyone knows I like Mortal Kombat way more than Street Fighter. I'm rocking with Zohar on this one. I think that this is bullshit. It's a scandal. I'm going to go in a Facebook group and I'm going to tell people how I feel.
I think it's kind of bullshit too. I'm gonna jump back in. I'm gonna make another point now.
I
think a lot of the extra features that we've got with the Street Fighter franchise, like Capcom games, Marvel versus Capcom, and we haven't got with Killer Instinct, and we haven't got with MK, is based on some kind of financial formula and politicking within Arcade1Up, where they just don't know if adding those extra features and doing the research is going to meet the return on investment. They're saying, how many Mortal Kombats are we really going to sell? Do we want to invest in, developing the spectate mode? Do we want to invest in developing lobbies? Compared to Street Fighter, they're like, dude, we're going to sell so many Street Fighters. We're definitely going to make our money back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, would you consider Street Fighter to be a bigger franchise for Arcade1Up than Mortal Kombat? Because I would.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Like for me,
Yeah.
growing up, there as much as there was Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis, there was also Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, and I know what side of the fence I stood on.
Yeah, but you gotta follow the money. How many Capcom machines, Street Fighter even specifically machines, have come out versus Mortal Kombat cabinets, right?
Yeah,
I'm just stirring the pot here. Now, Paul, let's keep in mind the other legacy cabinets, the Pac-Mania one and the Centipede one. They also got the same monitor as the Midway one. So there was technically three products. But yeah, I should run to Facebook and tell people how I feel, because that's what you're supposed to do. All right, so let me pull up something here for everybody. Let's talk about something positive, though. All right, I'm just a Mortal Kombat jealous person, right? I'm a Mortal Kombat. Let's talk about the positive. Positive is anyone who gets these Capcom legacy cabinets, you're going to get a decent monitor. Plus, the marquees are going to look killer, right, on these newer cabinets.
I don't know why everybody's concerned. I mean, there's tons of BOEs out in the market. Think about how many people bought Big Buck Hunter and just turfed the screen to put like a 47-inch widescreen in there.
That's true.
Just go find a used Buck Hunter monitor.
Like it literally, every single person who bought a Buck Hunter just put like a 65-inch widescreen TV on the cabinet.
They put a projector screen on it.
Yeah. And I will admit, the more I keep looking at it, and the fact that it has a lot more games on it than just fighting games, unlike Big Blue, I'm actually starting to consider it more, especially because it has a better monitor. I'm thinking about it, Mike. I'm thinking. But then Mike popped my bubble, because I told Mike, I said, Mike, I need your advice. He goes, what's that? I said, I'm thinking, keep in mind, just thinking about possibly selling Big Blue and taking that money to buy the new one of the new Capcom legacies, because of better game lineup, BOE monitor, etc. And Mike tells me, PDubs, you can't sell. Why'd you tell me I couldn't sell it? It was so funny.
No. I said right now might not be the best time to
Backpedaling already, and
he
hasn't even said what it is.
Right now might not be the best time to sell your Big Blue cabinet when a bunch of people just bought $149 Big Blue cabinet.
Right. So you know what would happen, right? I'd list it for sale for less. What is it? A $600 cabinet? $600. Right?
It's a $500 cab, I think, in the US.
Okay, so I would. $500. Right. And I've upgraded the buttons. Like, they got new buttons in the thing and stuff. They got premium controls. I would list it for, I don't know, maybe $400. I would still take a loss on it. You know what I mean? But you know damn well someone's going to message me. Dude, it was $149 at that event in California. I'm only paying you $149 for that cabinet. Thanks to you, John D. Thanks to you.
He's right about this point.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you, John D. I can't sell my Big Blue now because of your clearance sale. I can't sell it. John D says he doesn't hate Qbert. He just doesn't like playing it, and he doesn't think it'll sell 3,000 units. Well, John, you know what? I'm probably one of the biggest Qbert lovers in this community. And I will say I'm really happy that we did do that big community. What was that we did? Petition. Where like, hey, if you're interested in Qbert, sign the petition. I mean, that I'm sure 20,000 people, or at least 10,000 people, saw that petition making its rounds on everyone's Facebook, on YouTube. That petition made the rounds, and it got 700 signatures out of like 10 to maybe 20,000 people who saw that survey existed. John, I'm going to have to agree with you. And I think it's a shame that, but I appreciated the fact that people did the survey or that petition, because now we know, like, the people that like Qbert, like me, very, very small amount of people.
No. That's not true.
It's sad.
There's an X factor here we're not talking about. The results of that survey could be compared against the results of the Dragon's Lair survey that they did a couple of years ago when Arcade1Up was super white hot, when the 20,000 people in the fan page actually liked Arcade1Up and weren't just there to shit on you. So, I mean, that Dragon's Lair was done a couple of years ago. Right after that, a couple of people said to me, Qbert didn't do very well. The survey didn't. They were like, Afterburner is going to take off, though. They sent me the survey 24 hours after the Afterburner survey went up. There was 20 people who signed off on it. So, as much as it's fair to say, well, Qbert didn't get the same result that Dragon's Lair did.
It's heartbreaking.
but nothing else will. It doesn't matter what else you put out there. You could put literally any game out there in a survey form right now. You're not going to get the same response Dragon Lair got a couple of years ago.
It had less signatures than Restalgia's viewers on his hot tub time machine live stream. That's pretty funny. Now, there's a guy named David. He gave us a $5 donation. He claims to have seen Killer Instinct Pro. Makes all the others look like toys, even Blitz. Well, David, we appreciate the $5, but brother, Pixar, it didn't happen. Pixar, it didn't happen.
Listen,
sorry.
We talked about this, David. You're not supposed to tell people about that. Remember?
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people are interested in Qbert. Some people are nearly 700 awesome, amazing retro games out there that signed it. But
just because 700 people signed it does not mean 700 people would buy it. That means 700 people would like to see a completed.
I understand that.
Cabinet.
I'm not an idiot, Restalgia.
Seven people will buy that.
Are you sure? Are you sure, P-Dubs? You didn't work at the cell phone counter at Walmart.
No,
that's exactly right.
Can I tell you what I was hoping? I was hoping to see like 5,000 signatures, and I was hoping to assume that maybe you would assume, hopefully, 2,500 people would buy the cabinet. Enough to make a small production run, you know what I mean, or even do just like a limited 1,000 cabinet, like kind of like
they've done limited edition. Their limited is 3,000 unit runs.
That limit sucks because there's not enough Qbert fans out there to get us 3,000. Nostalgia.
If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. P-Dubs.
I think that we're forgetting something that as much as this is being shared in an arcade hardcore group, Qbert goes past arcade hardcores. Qbert goes out. It's a mainstream game. That's what we're. So. Yes, it is. It was one of the most recognizable arcade games of all time. It was in the goddamn movie Pixels. Whenever anybody talks about arcade shit, Qbert's one of the games. Yes, it does have that mainstream appeal. So I'm telling you right now,
so you're saying there's a chance.
Qbert's the goddamn Field of Dreams. If you build it, it will sell.
There you go.
I don't think so. I think
John, because you're a piece of shit, Restalgia.
No, I'm just using logic. You run with your heart, bro. I think with my brain. The difference is if they're going to go mass with Qbert, they have to put marketing funds behind it. If they're going small scale, like a limited production run, they don't want to go mass. They don't want to have to do big marketing campaigns to try to sell it because there's no money in that.
Pause. Are you saying that Qbert won't sell?
That is literally...
What an idiot. Oh, what a loser. Good.
You son of a bitch.
There you go. All right. We got to pivot, guys. We got a lot more show.
Okay.
We got a lot more show.
Okay.
We got a lot more show to do. But
I'm calming down.
Calm down. If John D makes Qbert, I will buy at least 2 of them. All right. That's all I can say.
See, the problem is, and here's what I don't get. We're at the point in the community where someone says, you know what cab I'd like to see? I'd like to see cab X. And then for some reason, someone else in the community is like, screw you, because your cab X is getting in the way of my cab Y. So people are fighting, like trying to trash
not
people.
Even the case.
Yeah, but no, it literally is. I'm not saying us here.
The Qbert petition did much better than the Afterburner petition. Just want to point that out.
It did.
Yeah. In fact, I think
neither one of them did well.
I think Change.org actually deleted the Afterburner petition. It was so bad. They're like, what? There's nothing to change here.
Well, I can't speak for that. But what I am telling you is, like, I'm one of the guys on social media, and I'm just like, hey, I'd love to see a Robotron. And people are coming out and being like, screw you, they need to make 90s games. And I'm like, what? What does this have to do with you?
All right, we got some more donations here. Wow, Console Fanboy, you don't have to keep super chatting. We greatly appreciate it. Qbert is the MK of the early 80s, which means 1UP hates it and will give it the worst monitor possible. Oh, I would be pissed. Hobby Hands, $5. I admit I did not sign the petition, but he would buy it. There you go, Nostalgia. Some people
just because someone says they'll buy
it. You want me to click on this link, check this box, and hit submit? That's too much work. Okay, screw you, P-Dubs, and your Qbert dreams. Screw you, P-Dubs. I can't do it. I can't click this link, check this box, and hit submit. It's too much goddamn work. It's too much work. Now, also, I got to go put coin ops on my thumb drive because that's easier. Jesus Christ. All right.
Maybe they'll sell 8 of them then. You're right, not 7.
So one of the things I really like about this is we have Liv now working with Arcade1Up, and one of the things that she's been really good with is like these HasLabs and stuff like that. So I would love to see Arcade1Up go with these special edition cabs, something like a Qbert, something like a Robotron, shit like that, and have them almost like work out something where it's crowdfunded. So we don't have to have these stupid conversations. Arcade1Up can make every single version of Street Fighter that ever existed, put whatever friggin' art they find off the internet on the side of the cabinet, whatever they want to do. Doesn't affect us because we'll have a way to get these classic arcade games that some of us want them to make.
Yep. And let's put a pin in this topic with this statement right here. PDubs ain't wrong. Thanks so much, Kingsborough, as well as thank you, Stringer Films, for a $2 donation. Mike Baines is about to choke a bitch right there. Right there. Yeah, let's get hey, if this is the real John D, we would appreciate if you had Liv start a crowdfunding campaign for Qbert, and let's see what happens. Why don't we just throw all our chips on the table and see what happens?
I did that stream on it, and I think it's a great idea. Like, they came up with right. Dragon's Lair as private reserve. That's what they should do. You're going to come up with special cabs, like a crowd-funded, like special private reserve Arcade1Up division. Beauty.
Yeah, yeah. All right, my dudes, we have to pivot. We got stuff to talk about here. And Mike, I promised Mike we would talk about this.
Okay.
Mike, what is going on with Evercade? And is Evercade coming out with stuff that are they flying under the radar of awesomeness? Like, what's going on here, Mike?
Man, they're doing stuff. They are actually doing stuff, and I'm pretty happy.
What are they doing? Tell the viewers, we got 300 people. We got 300 people.
According to Papa Brad, nothing that iArcade hasn't done before. So Evercade, we know they're coming out with the EXP, which is their new update of their handheld. A lot of the feedback that me and Restalgia, who both reviewed the original, did you have an Evercade handheld as well, PDubs?
Yeah, but I didn't film a review for it.
Okay, so a lot of the same stuff we put in there, like the handheld is great, but we would like to see it a little bit more slick, a little bit more updated features. Well, the EXP is coming out, and it's like they took our feedback, everybody's feedback, and this thing looks phenomenal. On top of that, they're really amping up the game cartridges that are coming out for it. I recently just got the VS. I got a lot later than everybody else. They sent me out a demo
Mike,
unit.
Did you see a doctor? After you contracted the VS, did you see a doctor? Did you get any like a cream?
Oh, that's a naughty sex joke.
Did you get a cream or a vaccine or anything?
Yeah, I've got some topical cream. That'll make it go away after a while.
All right, Mike. I will. So, Mike, these cartridges look cool.
They are really cool.
I made a video on my channel, and I hate to do that because we had Evercade on the show. We interviewed them on our Super GameRoom Dudes. I have the original handheld. I have the VS. Not as bad as Mike. I don't have any rash or burning sensation, but I have a console system, unlike MichaelB. Now, what's interesting about this is when this new handheld's coming out, I just don't see the need to buy it. You know what I mean? And Restalgia and I had a huge debate offline about this. Like, Restalgia's pissed that I won't shill for the new Evercade handheld. He's mad that I'm not out there singing its praises because there's really no reason to buy the damn thing. And what's funny is, but these new cartridges kick ass, in my opinion, what they got coming out. But go ahead, one of you two.
I'm going to explode here because what his argument was is your argument didn't correlate. Like, just because you have the Steam Deck and there's this other console coming out, the Evercade EXP, you're like, I don't need that because I have a Steam Deck. They're two different things. Like, I get what you say. You're like, you know what? I've got my handhelds where I need it. I've got the VS. I'll play it that way. But it's not the same that everybody would feel. That's a personal opinion piece.
You know, what he could have said that was a stronger argument was, I have the original Evercade. I don't need a new one that plays the same games. That would have been a stronger argument. Instead, you're like, well, I have a PS5, so I don't need a cell phone. Like, they're completely different products.
If you have a computer at your home, you have access to everything. Everything.
Yes.
And you don't need to buy an Arcade1Up. You don't need to buy an iArcade, iArcade, but we do anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Anyway, because we want the arcade experience or we want the retro gaming experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the need to get this handheld, even though the screen flips and you know what I'm saying? And it's got a better screen. Like, to me, that's it, you know? Like,
it has the same screen, I think.
My other one works fine. I thought this one had a better screen. Isn't that what they said?
I'm pretty confident that this has the exact same screen in the original Evercade.
Actually,
I don't
guys,
think they upgraded it.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's actually a TN monitor.
It's TN.
It's an Edgewood TN monitor.
Stringer Films, $2 donation. He put his Pie Packer refund towards a new dishwasher. So yeah, this new one has tape mode, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I think that's pretty badass. But is it enough for me? How much is this retailing for? Isn't this like $200 for the new one, or is it one? I'm sorry, the black one. They had the special, like this one right here, the white one. Like if you buy it separately, I think this is only going to be like $100 or something, like $130. So
I think it'll be more than that.
But the other version that they already, the limited
$149, I think.
Yeah. So
but that comes with a game and a couple of things, I think. Yeah.
Whew, I'm just out of breath right now. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. So I just don't see the reason to upgrade to this because I have their console, I have their first handheld. But if we want to get off that topic, Mike, the new games coming out are pretty badass in my opinion. But Mike, do you think I should upgrade? Do you think I should spend the money? Not all of us are going to get a free one from Evercade.
So and nothing's guaranteed, but
notice how he glossed over that real quick.
No,
I'm just teasing you, brother.
Nothing's guaranteed. But I mean, you look at the stuff they have out there, they're doing a lot of fun stuff. The Atari Lynx collection, like what really sold me, it's out of my reach right now. It's not on my desk anymore. But once I saw the renovation collection, that's what really got my jimmies excited again about Evercade, because that's a title that really made me stand up and notice. I friggin' love renovation games. So I was like, yeah, I'm interested in getting back into the Evercade. I had the console handheld for a while, and I never picked up the VS originally. So I reached out to him and I was like, good work on getting renovation. They told me some more stuff that was going to be coming out. And I was like, man, these guys are kicking ass. So I just got the VS. It's actually super impressive. What a great console. I don't really still. It's fantastic. We're going to talk about it a lot more. I think we should. I still don't understand the two cartridges at the same time. I don't know what that was about.
You never had a menage a trois with a couple of retro gaming cartridges? It's and two cartridges, and all of a sudden they make a baby and a mystery game pops up. That's the whole point of that.
I didn't notice the mystery game. I heard that like you could access mystery games, but one thing I do like is being able to hot swap the cartridges mid-game. Like you can just pop it out, pop the cartridge out, pop something else in without having to power on, power off. I thought that was pretty dope.
So Zenitram just put a comment here. He goes, hey, is the VS in the console worth buying? And Mike and I both personally feel that the VS console is worth buying. Great console, great user interface, nice collection, of games to play.
PDubs, do you have a VS?
Yeah, I have.
Why would you buy that? You have a Raspberry Pi.
Exactly.
We
all have 10th, and why would I even buy a Raspberry Pi when I got this gaming PC right now?
Exactly.
Why would
you've got a Steam Deck, bro?
Why would you buy
a VS?
Why would you buy the Evercade VS? You've got Operation on the shelf. You could just play Operation.
I love that Steam Deck so hard. Mike. This dude gave us a $5 donation. John D, do you think Ivan Stewart's off-road would sell more than 3K caps? Hopefully John D will answer him in the live chat. He goes, off-road and Champ Sprint will sell 5K. Mike, what happened?
I'm going to have an aneurysm.
Why?
Qbert, one of the most well-known celebrated arcade games of all time, is not going to do well. Ivan Stewart's off-road. Yeah. Holy shit, look out. Throw the desk.
I know, right? Every time I go to the arcade, people come up to me and they're like, hey, man, can you point me in the direction of Ivan Stewart's off-road? Can you point me in the direction of that cabinet? Because I really want to pump like 20 quarters into that bitch.
There's arcades. Arcades.
They come up to me and they go, hey, you look like a smart guy. Do you know if they have Qbert in this arcade? And I'm like, it's right over there. It's the one that's glowing.
I think they come up to PDubs and ask if they know where he can find a riser.
All right, Mike, let's talk real quick. Mike, what are the cartridges that you're excited about, real quick? Because I promised you we would talk about this because you're super hyped and have to fulfill your contractual obligation.
you slimy, slimy.
Is
man.
it the Awakening one or is it the C64?
Well, the Always Awakening Cathedral, that's what I'm really excited about. I don't know if it's the second time that they've done this, but I also have the Evercade cartridge that has, I forget what the platforming game on it's called, but I have the Xenocrisis card. And I love that they're taking these, modern retro inspired games, putting them on the handheld like that. That makes me really excited. I love everything they're doing, but especially this shit, like imagine seeing like Shovel Knight and shit like that on this little handheld. I think that is such a cool idea. And I love that they're doing it. Celeste and
Celeste would be dope.
The Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, not Ritual of the Night, the updated game, but those Bloodstained Curse of the Moon or whatever it is, those two Bloodstained 8-bit games. Imagine seeing those on the Evercade. That's the kind of stuff I'm really, really excited about. So these go on pre-order now. Always Awakening. It's also on sale on Switch right now if you wanted to give it a try before you pick this up. So, I mean, very cool that you're getting stuff like this in cartridge form.
I agree. You're not wrong this time.
Not wrong this time.
Finally.
You excited about this one, Mike? Like really excited?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
This is a great card.
Well, Mike, if you're excited about that, have I got news for you, my friend. Get ready to change your jorts. The Commodore C64 collection. It's coming to the Evercade, and the crowd goes
mild. The crowd goes mild. This is not for everybody. Commodore 64 was very popular.
This was just for Glenn.
Yeah, this is
literally they released this just for Glenn.
You know what happened when this came out? Glenn's retro show was.
Oh yeah!
All right, let's check it out. So, all right, only 14 games. Come on, Mike.
But they're the best 14 games.
They could have put the entire collection.
Is the Oregon Trail on this? I want to get dysentery.
Major Commodore 64 fan. You got? I am. I was too young for the C64. I was. The only time I've ever played it is over the last few years. I've checked some games out, and there are some games that I really like. Most of them, I'm like, But go ahead, Mike. Are you hyped?
Not for the Commodore 64 one. For people that are nostalgic for the Commodore 64, go nuts. I'm more for Always Awakening and seeing collections like Renovation Collection and shit like that and seeing what else they have coming up in the future.
Yep. All right. He goes here. Xenotrip. If the collection sells well, they will do a collection too. Yeah, I think so. All right, Mike, what else is coming out that you're excited about with the Evercade?
Well, the two arcade games that I did the playthrough on last night, Galeco and Jalico. I know Papa Brad told everybody.
Was that was that the 12-hour stream where it was just an empty chair?
No, it's the hour and a half stream I did last night where I played through a bunch of like really fun. The Jalico cartridge is just all hits. Like that one is fantastic.
This one right here?
Game, yeah, pretty much every single game on that is just good stuff. Galeco, a little less so. Like there's one thing I really like about Big Karnak in the game. Monkeys are in trees throwing feces at you, so you have to actually hit the monkey shit with the sword and knock the monkey back with their own feces. Like imagine a game where a monkey throws shit at you.
That's like just doing an episode of the Super GameRoom Dudes every week. It's
yeah, pretty much.
I was literally going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Psy Battler, that's the one I want to try out. Psy Battler is a mech shooter. It's hard, but I didn't like that game. That Magic Rod is not for me.
Mike, did you know all these games are on the iArcade as well as on the At Games?
I was unaware. Squash!
It's got squash! I'm sold! Oh, it had touch and go. I didn't even see that. I like
touch and go. Touch and go is fun.
I love volleyball games. Are fun. All right, so that's pretty cool to see. All right, but because with my VS, I think I got the first 4 cartridges, but I haven't picked up 5 and 6. They got all these new ones coming out.
So you got.
And look now 7 and 8. They got Irem and Toplet, and Mike. All these games are on the iArcade as well. Just so you know. Stringer Films, $2. When can we expect Word Munchers to hit iArcade? Hopefully soon. Let's see here. All right, Toplet. Let's talk about this. You guys like Toplin shooters, right? They're pretty dope in my.
I like Truxton. I like Truxton 2. I like what's it called? Oh shit! It was a Sega CD game. Really good Sega CD.
I need more than that.
I know. I need more than that too. I'm just trying to
need more
remember it
than that.
now. So many shooters.
So you got the Toplin collection, you got the iRoom collection, all coming. Well, they're available now, actually, right? You can order all these cartridges, right?
What the hell is that?
Oh, I
Tiger
like
Heli.
Tiger Heli. I love Tiger Heli. Yep.
Tiger Heli's okay.
Guardian. I haven't played.
That looks wild.
What is this one? Alcon. We'll find out here. Yeah, Truxton's cool, but I'm talking
Truxton's hard, but really
rage inducing.
Oh yeah.
There's Truxton right there.
Music's fantastic in Truxton.
Yep.
Let's
Endless
see if they
one.
have it.
Here's my boy Endless One Up. I could play all these on my Steam Deck.
Zero Wing. All your bases belong to us.
Yep. Snow Bros. Snow Bros is a fun game. Have you guys actually ever given it a real shot?
Oh yeah.
It's a fun game. It's a fun game. Fun little platform. But yeah, there you go. So Evercade is making some moves. Now, Restalgia, they have the ability to run PlayStation hardware on their VS console, right?
They do. I think N64 can run on this hardware too.
Can we expect
some N64 games?
Can we anticipate them to, get some of that stuff released? What do you think, buddy? I know you got a few inside sources over there.
I'm almost positive they already have a PS1 game that's released. Didn't they?
I don't remember. I don't know which one. If anyone knows, throw it in the live
there was
chat.
at least one PS1 game that's been released, but you are on the freaking money. That's what I would like to see. Mike's right about more indie, like modern retro games. That'd be dope, but we got to get some PlayStation 1 games. Nobody else is doing that. And there's a huge library of PS1 games that are third party that they could potentially license. So I would love to see that.
Did they have any Panasonic 3DO titles on there?
Not that I'm aware of.
They need Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Like if they get that on there,
I don't know if you're joking or not.
That's being remastered this year. No joke. They get that on there. Day one buy.
You think so? I've never even heard of that. Ties. I've never even heard of that.
Do you even game, bro?
No, I don't. all I do is work at the cell phone center at Walmart.
All right.
That's all I do.
Last thing here on Evercade before we pivot. I think Evercade's coming out with some great cartridges. All right.
Mm-hmm.
B, with the overlap though between like what Evercade does and iArcade does, though, would you say that the Evercade is iArcade in handheld form?
No.
Okay. Well,
tell me why you think it is.
Because it's funny. Same games, like all, and they do the same thing.
You're onto something. But what I think is actually a more accurate representation of your analogy is the Steam Deck is actually the iArcade in handheld.
Yeah.
Steam Deck's got better games. Steam Deck's got like 90.
Can you think of anything the iArcade can play that the Steam Deck can't?
Off the top of my head, no. I mean, we would.
Are you saying people shouldn't get an iArcade and only get the Steam Deck?
No. Eat a banana. Stringer Films, $2. Where can I play the old DOS game? Think quick. I never even played that game. Does anyone know what that is?
No, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to comment. Just go on.
Restalgia.
Just a little bit.
Zenitram says you cannot play Beersis on the Steam Deck.
Ooh, I don't actually think that's true, though.
Okay, Beersis. That game is weird. All right, Mike, what do you want to tell me about Mario Kart real quick?
We're getting new tracks. New tracks coming next week.
How many, Mike?
I think it's 8. That's what we get each time. We get two new packs each time. So I think it's 4 tracks per pack.
No way. How much are they going to charge us for this?
Well, if you have the expansion pack, you get it for free. It's included.
I know, Mike. I have to ask these questions for the
free $99. If you don't have the expansion pack, pony up, biatch.
All right, let's take a look at these new courses. Let's see how fun these are. Everybody loves playing Mario Kart. Come on now. They got the
Mike,
Sky High Sunday.
Are all of these essentially ports from previous games, or are some of these like new tracks that we've never seen before?
They're all remasters.
They're all remasters, right?
All of them. Yep.
Okay.
So it spans the entire history of Mario Kart. This is basically like Mario Kart All Stars, and it even has like tracks from like the Mario Kart arcade games and everything.
Jim Harper says Sky High is new. Here's the N64 Calamari Desert. There you go.
Oh, I
Sky
remember
High
this
is
one. I love that
new.
one.
SNES Mario Circuit 3.
Look at that shit.
The Wii Mushroom Gorge. Nice. Yeah, the others are remasters. There you go.
Oh, they even got the mobile game.
Tour Sydney Sprint. So, yeah, this will be fun. I mean, we all play. We should. Do you guys want to do another live stream like we did with the community where we had viewers join us and we check out all the new tracks?
100%. Just not on a Friday show.
Just not on a Friday show.
That's right.
We'll have to pick a different day. Mike doesn't want to do live community gaming streams on Friday.
That's not true. I just don't want to do
What
it.
time do you do your live streams weekly? It's like Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, we won't be doing it then either. So here's the thing. We'll do it at a time that's convenient for everybody, and Restalgia can eat shit.
That's like the ninth. That's like the 10th time you've said that to him on today.
Mike is angry today.
No, but I don't want to do gaming streams in place of our regular Friday show. That's all. I would like to do gaming streams on another night.
I got you. All right,
Understood.
Mike, and also we have some Xenocrisis news. What's going on there, buddy? Is it Xenocrisis?
We literally talked about Xenocrisis with the Evercade.
I want Xenocrisis to come to iArcade. They need to work on that immediately.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was looking over my show notes and I was like, did we talk about that one?
I don't remember talking about Xenocrisis.
All right. So Mike would like that. Well, I mean, we could do a 4-hour show of games we would like to see on Arcade1Up, at Games, iArcade, all these console systems. I mean, it just go on and on and on. Restalgia would have a shit-eating grin. What? All right. Restalgia, what do you got coming up on your channel for folks who have been waiting desperately to see some content while you're thinking about what lies you're going to tell? Goofyfoot gave us a $5 super chat. He heard She Lion Gaiman found Billy Mitchell's chewing gum on her vintage 80s Donkey Kong cabinet. Can anyone verify this? Unfortunately not. I just slid into her DMs on Twitter and introduced myself. So looking forward to getting to know.
Come on, introduce yourself. Every woman knows you.
Well, I mean, I said, hi, this is PDubs. You probably heard of me. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. That's an inside joke on the show. No, I was trying to get her and Bill on last week. Remember we had Bill come on to hype Game Days. I was trying to get her on too, but
Days.
Not Game Days. Game Time.
Yeah, PDubs. They ripped off us, not they ripped off iArcade show.
Yeah, that's right. They ripped us off. That's right. Okay. I'm just kidding. We're just kidding. It's a joke. We're pimping out their show. But yeah, we were
he's not kidding.
We messaged each other back and forth. She's cool. All right. And then what else? Yeah, but okay, Restalgia, what's coming up on your channel? People are waiting.
I've got a couple review products already filmed, just being edited. I've got a couple mod videos where I'm taking some older, like original hardware, PlayStation 1, and I've got a Dreamcast mod coming up. And then I'm going to be redoing a from scratch guide for the PlayStation Classic mod, since there's been a bunch of changes that has what is this? How's the cell phone cutter? Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. The commissions are dope.
All right. So Restalgia's got a couple review videos coming out. MichaelB, what do you got coming out on your channel that everyone should look out for?
I got nothing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, man. You might see my cat turn a stream on in the middle of the night. You might not. Who knows?
So I have a couple things filmed. I just gotta get to editing. One thing that will be posted is a mod video will probably be posted. I'll post it right after this show's over on my channel. It's just a quick little button joystick mod video, so I'll have that posted. But then again, we got a bunch of other stuff coming out this weekend and next week, so hopefully we can get stuff done.
if I can be serious for a minute, like Lance Storm, I do have some stuff coming out. I do have all my footage and everything filmed from my iArcade Gold review. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm waiting on something from iArcade. They're going to be doing something that's possibly going to change something with the machine that they asked me to wait on until for my review. So I apologize for the holdup on that. Evercade sent me the VS, so I'm going to be doing a review on that. I'm going to review the new Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary. Spoiler alert, I don't think the screen's that good. And then other than that, I'll be doing some talking head commentary videos. If something happens, I'll do a video on it. And PDubs will say, there's your talking head point for the day.
Hey, I've helped you. I've given you a lot of topics to make videos on, mind you. Stringer Films, $2. He likes the cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster. So do I. Those are really good biscuits, by the way. I've had those before. Okay, so I think that's it. We're missing Carl, so things are all out of sync. All right, don't forget, next week is a night of premieres. It's going to be the best Friday night. It's going to be like any other Friday night you've ever had. It's going to be pretty okay. Right, guys? I mean, we're not doing
season 2 next week, are we?
We don't want to overhype and underdeliver, right? We want to keep people, level set and then exceed expectations. Guys, it's going to be awesome. Next week is the series premiere of Game Time on the Tech Buzz's YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check out what Stephen Glenn, She Lion Gaming, and Bill's Retro Gaming Show have in store for you. They will be on at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then come on back here where finally, the season 2 premiere of the Super GameRoom Dudes will happen. So next week is going to be a night of premieres. We hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe to our channels. Give us a thumbs up on the way out. And we will see you on the web. That's how he says it, right?
Who? Close enough.
Detroit Love. Did you forget who he was after
he
one
says
episode?
It way sexier than you said it.
Can someone turn on their air conditioning? This is not right.
Is that the furnace?